Wow, there's so much to cover today. I am ecstatic. Literally, like, I'm so pumped up about Einstein. His work is quite incredible. And so much of it that I'm able to tap into. And then also, his theories. So we're going to be going into tons of that. We're also going to be going into the Montauk project, the Montauk military where he was at in Princeton for 20 years. We're going to remote view, and I'm going to be channeling him. His quantum physics. The more that I read up about his articles or any information that his theories, I realize how incredible we are, how we are quantum physicists as well, especially through the teachings of Rising Physics Mystery School. I realized that all this science that he was using is also explained through the teachings that Divine Mother taught us. And it's really putting the formulas together, the connection together. So these sacred alchemy symbols are really refined in a level where we could understand just the existence, reality. We're really going to go deep on this. So let's go into his theory. So, I mean, he has so many theories, guys, but we're going to go into at least say nine of his discoveries. Okay. So the first theory is unified theory. So the theory of basically relativity. The theory of relativity is quite incredible because what happens with the theory of relativity, it's telling us of how life forms work and really the formula to how they're made up and how there's densities and there's plasmic and there's atoms and all this genetic makeup of them. And then it's teaching us basically how to then use this in space-time. About relativity is that it's the whole thing that I talk about, how what one person could be seeing in front of them could look so different because they're looking at it from a different perspective. Or how we talk about how the flame, we're at a retreat and we ask around and everyone could see the flame at a different color, even though we're all actually looking at the same flame. So Einstein, through the theory of relativity, helped us understand that if you're looking at it from a different angle, this object that you're looking at is going to be different wherever you're coming in from. Okay? So the theory of relativity states that space and time are absolute, but rather they are relative to the observer's frame of reference. Let me explain this further. So this means that the laws of physics may appear different depending on the observer's position and velocity. Okay, so that's really what a theory of relativity means. So how we're looking from different lenses and perspectives, depending on where we're looking at from. In other words, depending on what vibration and density we're vibrating to, is how we're going to be able to decipher the equation. You understand? Or what we're looking at to find the equation to it. So think about how amazing that would be. That's really kind of like what we teach, honoring people's different perspectives, how everyone will see it different forms, right? It's just really beautiful. So for example, two observers measuring the same event might observe different results due to their different frames of references. The theory of relativity also states that mass and energy are equivalent. Mass and energy are equivalent, meaning that energy can be converted into mass and vice versa. So, and mass could be created into energy. So basically mass is energy. Again, what he said was that anything that takes a space is a mass. This chair is taking up space here is a mass. I'm a mass. It just depends on, how highly developed the mass is and, oscillating, right? So it depends on how their higher dimensional, their nucleus inside the atom or the atoms that make them up would be. This means that if you were to convert enough energy into mass, you could create a black hole. This also explains why an object's mass increases as it approaches the speed of light. So what he explains is that light is just light. It's like there's, speed of light is just light. It's basically source of light. Okay? And so we who are mass, we're mass. Okay? But once we are our only source of light, we could be in all places at the same time. Speed of light. We're everywhere. when we're just light, okay? But the mass comes in and basically creates a more of a density so that we could be not just light, source of light, we could be beings in different densities, you understand? So, and to be into these different dimensions. So then that's where the mass comes in to create density in you to be a matching vibration to whatever dimension you're coming into. And that's also the beginnings for you to understand gravity, which they haven't been able to find in quantum physics, a formula to it. Okay, this is an atom. So within the atom, there's the nucleus. There's protons and neutrons inside the nucleus. There's also electrons. The electrons are literally the speed of light. The electrons are the lightning that gives us life force. They're the speed of light. Okay. All right. So this is, okay, you understand? This is what an atom looks like. Okay. And then the shell, which is basically the force field around it, the magnetic field around it. Every atom that makes you, that you are made up, you have like this infinite amount of atoms to make you up. You understand? You're matter. So all of these are inside. But inside of here, this is where gravity comes in. Inside of here, the nucleus inside the atom, it's interesting. It's like almost every atom through particle accelerator and the CERN technology, like these particles basically they're not one and the same. But here, these are unique, the nucleuses, and it's the literal basically soul or the brain or the being to the atom. So you have many of these atoms to make you up. Now, it depends on how many protons and neutrons you have. That would vibrate you more to a higher density that would help you basically be lighter. And what he was talking about there is that the closer you get to, the more that you accelerate to be at the speed of light, the closer you get. So, in other words, then gravity is found inside of the nucleus, is what he told me. It's inside of here, and it depends on how dense you are. That's why we teach, like, get rid of the toxic people and cords and all that kind of stuff, right? Because it densifies you. So the nucleus is the beingness to the atom, but there's many atoms to make you up. You understand? This is material, basically, the material that you are, matter that you are. Okay, so when this becomes basically lighter, the nucleus is the key. And this is how I teach my alchemy, right? The courses, Divine Mother gives us, right? Okay. She says that the lighter you make your nucleuses, the easier that it will be easier for you to go in and out into the theta brainwave, into higher dimensions. So when all these atoms also vibrate and oscillate, and as they vibrate, oscillate, they can become, so you make the nucleus lighter, then all the rest of the electrons also become a matching vibration. Now, I'm just talking about, like, this is like a transformation that the body will go through when you ascend out, but I'm just talking about like in your consciousness and your mind where you're channeling and so on. So you want to be working within the nucleus of your atoms to lighten them up to be able to travel into higher dimensions. So gravity literally is as if your nucleuses are heavier, your nucleus is heavier in density, then it's going to make you heavier, and you're going to be heavier, like here in the 3D, heavier. You understand? So the lighter the nucleus, the more that you're able to travel into higher dimensions where there's no gravity.